Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. And it's Monday. How do you like that? Jocelyn, hello. First one in the gate. Good to have you here. Michelle, it's been a minute, but so glad to see you. Lots of stuff going on. Today is the last day for so much stuff, including, Halloween and all that. Darla, Jeanette, hello. Good to have you here. I'm going to be talking about all the stuff that we've got going on, but boy, oh boy, do I want you to be a part of this. Martha, Chris, Deborah, Ann, hello. Don't you love a fresh new Monday? Ours is rainy and drizzly. Whatever. So I haven't even taken the dog for a walk. How do you take a dog for a walk in the rain? Unless you want the smell of wet dog in your house. Ellen, hi. Good to have you here. I don't. As a matter of fact, I'm washing all of his bedding and even his collar, which is kind of a cloth collar. And Mark's going to give Lincoln his. Sometimes you just need to do it. We just need to do it. Hey, Paige. There she is doing her treadmill. Keep Paige going. Say hi to everyone. Joey's in the house. My girlfriend Joey from Charlotte. Good to have you here. I'm really excited about today because number one, it's Motivational Monday. Number two, you know what tomorrow night is? Tomorrow night is our commitment signing contract for those of us who are doing the Hot Melt 30. Now hear me for just 2 seconds here. Hear me. I have found the more committed I am, the more accountable I am. The more accountable I am, the more committed I am. And this is why we are getting together, those of us doing the Hot Melt 30, to get out our pens, not pencils, pens, and sign a contract telling everybody that this is what we're about. And this is critical. This is critical. This is how things change. Now, our friend Tanya, I don't see her right now today, but she's around here somewhere. But Tanya, it started with, she had sprinted, but Hot Melt 30, that was the straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's the one that said, enough already of the back and forth, and she committed. And the results speak for themselves. She lost 130 pounds, for heaven's sakes. 130 pounds. That's crazy. Hey there, Flynn and Nancy. So good to have you here. Anyway, all I'm saying to you is let's be like Tanya. Let's hold the course. Let's stay the course. Let's be women who are on a mission to get done what it is that our little heart's desires. Not be pulled and pushed and swayed by all the things that are out there. It's time for us to get real serious with our lives. Our health is at stake. Everything's at stake. It's not just about those jeans that I have my jeans hanging on the wall. By the way, I can get them all the way up. I just can't button them on the fly yet. I'm a size 8, not a size 6. But you know what? I'm proud of myself. They're sitting there. They're looking at me. And November is here. The end of November, I will be in those jeans. Mark my words. I'm being accountable. Hey, Sue. Good to have you here. Alice, Jackie. Look at all my lovelies showing up. I love it. You guys you have no idea how thrilling it is to have everybody here. So the Hot Melt 30, you can still watch the webinar. You can join us tomorrow for the contract signing, okay? If you've ever done the Hot Melt 30, you will automatically get an invitation for it because you've got the program. But I'm going to tell you, I would go watch that webinar all over again. You can find all the details at savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY. Write it out, and there it is. I've got gold pants. I'll show you my gold pants, except I'd have to get up and go get them and whatever. I'll show you my gold pants. Remind me to show. Jenny, will you reminder for gold pants? I'll bring them tomorrow for Transformation Tip Tuesday. Okay, deal? Okay, I'm going to bring them. Anyway, so that's yeah, there's nothing wrong with having gold pants. And there's also nothing wrong with saying, I don't want gold pants. I want something else. You do you is the point. And that's what the Hot Melt 30 is all about. But it's about transformation. It's about staying the course. And it's about finding the inner strength inside of you that maybe is hidden. And today I'm going to wrap this whole thing up with some really juicy stuff on what we're about. I'm excited about today's show, actually. So my collar's a little wonky. I don't know. Somebody needs to come fix me. Fix it. All right. So there's that. The second thing that I have to tell you is the last day for October Surprise, and Croctober Surprise, rather. You can find that at savingdinner.com/surprise. A deal on all the things. I mean, the deal is ridiculously fabulous. It will keep you in menu planning for the rest of your days. It will. Everything is there. You get a year's worth of dinner answers, plus some cooking lessons, plus a bunch of Thanksgiving menus, plus. Go to savingdinner.com/surprise and you'll get it. And Oprah might be there saying, you get a Croctober and you get a Croctober and you do too. Wouldn't that just make your day? You know it would. Hello, Sherry. I'm so glad you're here. She wants to know, how do I get info on what's going on? Well, we have and by the way, always, we have a page set up just for all of our announcements. savingdinner.com/announcements. That's where we keep them all. But Sherry, if you're interested in the Hot Melt 30, that's at savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY, and then Croctober Surprise, of course. We have all the things. Everything's on that page. But remember, today's the last day for Hot Melt 30, because we start tomorrow. And today's the last day for Croctober Surprise. I'm just saying, do not miss out. Lastly, and this is great, because part of the Hot Melt 30 is we have certain things that we are accomplishing absolutely every single day, right? Oh, I know Tanya will be here. See, I'm just talking about you, Tanya. Just talking about you. She will be here. She will be doing the Hot Melt 30. She will be and tomorrow's commitment signing. And you think, oh, she's an old pro. She's got this down. Taught. But she acts like she's a newbie, like she's never done this before. And she gets in there and she completely 100% applies herself. And that's the secret to her success. And yours too, by the way. I don't know what you want in this life. I'll tell you what I want. I want vibrancy, capital V. And I know that if I'm going to divorce myself from any one part of my life, I'm not going to get it. I need heart, mind, body, and soul. You can't ignore your body and do all the rest of it right. You're going to feel like crap, and you might have all these things going on, but you're going to feel like crap. And you can't ignore your soul, or you're going to feel empty inside. And you can't ignore your mind, or you're never going to be a lifetime learner and enjoy the whole process of learning and expanding and becoming all you could become. Think about it. Heart, mind, body, and soul. We're made on purpose and for purpose for that very reason. And anybody who has changed their bodies knows what an incredible shift that is. It changes. It changes. Joey, for a Hot Melt 30, if you bought the kit, you are signed up. And if you don't check and make sure, you should be signed up. And you should be, we'll get you signed up. Ready? Look at Chris. She's got her pens out. She's all ready to go. Get it done. I love it. I love it so much. This kind of stuff, this is what excites me. I love to see women who've decided to take it on and to take on their lives as their own mission, because that's where you find your purpose. We find our purpose in the midst of all the messiness of what our lives are. We do. Suddenly the purpose shows up, doesn't it? It does. Hi, Vanessa. It shows up just as clear as day. It's like a cosmic 2x4. And it was, sort of like what the good witch said to Dorothy. You had the power all along. You do have the power all along. And today we're going to be talking about how transformation happens, and how motivation is part of it and the mindfulness is part of it. And we're going to put all of that stuff together. It's like a juicy, yummy recipe. You're going to want this. It's delicious. Promise you. Now, part of the Hot Melt 30 is, I'm going to tell you this one thing because it ties into the next thing I'm going to tell you, is getting your collagen in. Taking a picture of your face and then 30 days later doing it. The thing is that collagen is, I call it the beauty protein because it changes the whole texture of your face. It changes your skin. It changes your muscles, your bones, your ligaments, your joints. I'm telling you, if you have any knee pain, joint pain, or whatever, and you're not doing collagen, well, now it's time to get on board. And if you want to see your skin get better and the fine lines start to disappear, as long as you're plumping it up, am I right? You gotta plump it up. Where's Nancy? Cheers, Mother Hen, by the way. You got to do it. When you do that, and with the collagen, it's extraordinary what happens to your skin. Extraordinary. So part of the whole Hot Melt 30 is getting collagen in 3 ways. The first one is making sure you're getting your collagen with your perfect paleo protein. The second one is getting that bone broth. And the third one is beauty support. Beauty support helps you make your own collagen. We lose our ability to make collagen after 35. It just goes boop, 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 like this all the way through. And guess what this is? Buy 3, get 1 free. This is a screaming deal. I have so many people who they just wait for this deal to come up because, like me, they're hooked on beauty support. I take it morning and at night. I need all the help I can get. At 64 years old, those fine lines, they speak to me daily. So you can find that at savingdinner.com/show. Like it's showtime, folks. But I love this. I know you do too. So get it now. And this is, by the way, only as long as supplies last. savingdinner.com/show. We're getting a little thin in the shop right now. We got big orders going out and what have you. So good grief, get on it. All right. So I'm going to bring our friends. Here they are. I'm going to do, Joey, thank you. I appreciate that. I think I look better at 64 than I did at 54. All that collagen. I wasn't doing collagen back then. Let's go with this. We're bringing TikTok on board, and we have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Let's go. Quote of the week. The best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney said that. You think he was a man of action? Of course he was. Everyone thought he was crazy. They just thought he was a crazy animator, Mickey Mouse, for example. They didn't give him a whole lot of credence when he said, I want to create this Disneyland thing. They thought it was stupid. Was it? You tell me. Billions of dollars later, a lot of people just hooked on Disney. Anyway, that's the whole thing. Let's stop talking about it. Let's do. Tomorrow night we do with the Hot Melt 30. Get on board with that. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the Hot Melt 30, it's savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY. We sign the commitment contract tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. But I want to talk about, last week we were sort of talking, do you remember we were talking about mindfulness and how mindfulness is the teacher and how it changes your brain and what we're aware of and not caught up with and all of that stuff. Well, this is the tie it all up stuff. Usually I tie it all up at the end of the week, but we had too much to talk about. But this is the tie it all up stuff. And boy, do I love this. This is juicy. And by the way, don't forget, you can always get your notes if you want them. We have notes available at savingdinner.com. And all you have to do is go to the page, the pop-up comes up, sign up for our newsletter. We'll send you all kinds of really great stuff. We don't bombard people, just a simple newsletter and show notes every morning, the day after the show. Okay. So here, this stuff. It's great. Transformation. I wrote this down, and this was a line that was in my journal, and I brought it out, trotted it all out, and made a show out of it. So I hope this is going to work for you. Hey, there's Tanya's over here on TikTok too. That's pretty fun. Okay, so transformation happens when we accept ourselves and stop accepting ourselves. Accept, ACCEPT, and then EXCEPT. We do accept ourselves, don't we? Wow, that'll work for everyone except me. Oh no, that can't work. That's too hard. That's too this. That's too that. Hey there, Maureen. I didn't see you there. But mindfulness teaches us, if we're mindful, that we accept ourselves. Accept with an A. It's true. Because suddenly now we're aware of it, that we're pushing ourselves away and pushing it all out. And it's all about the external stuff, because the external stuff is temporary, and that's the stuff that we get all bogged down with. And it wears us out. It gets old. It dies. But we don't look at it that way. We look at it as like ever present, and it's just always going to just take us down. Not true. And then we go to the place where stop me if any of this sounds familiar. If only everything. Well, if only I had, if only I could, if only I lost weight, if only I could be, if only I could have. Sound familiar? But I'm going to tell you how we stop this whole business is neuroplasticity in the brain, which means we have to literally change our minds, And that happens when you learn to use your mind in a slightly different way. Because I'm going to ask you a question, and I know what the answer to this already is, but I want you to go there with me. How's about this? Has anybody here ever sprained an ankle? Anyone? Sprained an ankle. Do you know what that feels like? Spraining an ankle is a physical pain that suddenly that's where all of your attention goes to, and your ankle swells. It doesn't feel good. You can't walk on it real well. You know how this whole thing goes. But what if I told you that we're continually twisting our ankles and spraining them in our brains by using it all wrong all the time? We do. When we do that, what we find ourselves in the place of being unaware and caught up with everything external around us. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Exactly what I'm talking about. Instead of being aware and not caught up. In other words, everybody can be having a hissy fit all around you. Everybody can be having their meltdowns and doing whatever it is that they're doing, but you're still holding your ground. You're still mindfully aware of who you are and whose you are, and that you're here on purpose and for purpose, and you're not going to get caught up in their drama. Have you ever noticed that some people just like to create a lot of drama? So here's the thing. We need to notice, but not complain, because we understand that complaining shrinks your brain. Everybody knows that, right? Fact. It literally shrinks your brain. The opposite is true for mindfulness. It expands. It helps you to think better. It helps to improve the neuroplasticity in your head. It helps to build new neural pathways. It does. So we need to start asking some better questions. Anybody notice that when you ask a good question, you're going to get a good answer back? If you ask a poor question, a lousy question, you'll get a short, static answer that isn't probably going to answer the whole thing. So we need to be thoughtful about the questions that we ask. Be mindful about the questions that we ask. So there was a Buddha that was in a monastery, in Thailand. Okay, this is a true story, by the way. It's a huge Buddha. And during the Burmese War, they took this Buddha that was sitting outside and they moved it into the monastery, and they covered it with plaster and mud and clay and all kinds of stuff. And, they put all kinds of, even broken glass and all kinds of stuff. But it was a very treasured, very old Buddha. Well, centuries and centuries old, very heavy. And once it was moved into that monastery, it stayed there in the monastery. Well, in 1957, they're getting ready to revamp the monastery, and they're having some big visit. I don't know, Dalai Lama, I don't know who's coming there. They're having some big visit. And so they're refurbishing, shall we say, the whole monastery. One monk started, and he saw a big crack in this gigantic Buddha. And he looked down into the crack, and he saw gold shining back at him. And so he went and got some other monks, and they went, whoa, let's take a look at what this is. Well, turns out this 10-foot high Buddha with a 6-foot round belly, circumference of a belly, was solid gold underneath. Solid gold underneath. They schlepped that thing and moved that thing all around with all the plaster, all the mud, all the everything on it. And underneath it all, they had no idea that for hundreds and hundreds of years, until 1957, that underneath it was solid gold. So some of us are like that Buddha, we're solid gold underneath, but inside, on the outside, there's a lot of mud. There's a lot of hiding going on. We hide behind it. If we realize that we are golden, that we are the golden apples of God's eye, and that we are here on purpose and for purpose, maybe we'll stop hiding behind all that stuff that for years and years and years we've layered upon the trueness, the genuineness, the authentic self. Think about that one. And by the way, that Buddha story, that's a true story. 1957, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of layer upon layer upon layer. And it's so ironic, because this is what we do. We hide behind layer after layer after layer. And we put it on ourselves. Sometimes we get it handed on to us as younger or whatever, but a lot of times we put it on ourselves. But we can understand then that how wonderfully mindfulness works in our lives, because it transforms our very lives, because it connects us to our higher selves. It removes the clay, the facade of who we thought we were, and it shows the shining golden beauty of who we really are. And it allows our preciousness to shine. And that, that's the true self. That's your true north. That's who you are. So one thing to think about, and think about this as they're dragging that Buddha around and pushing him into the monastery and pushing him around and putting the mud all over him and doing all that stuff, that how heavy hiding is. It really is. It's heavy. It's exhausting. It's like having to move around a massive Buddha all the time, So when we allow ourselves to shine by refusing to hide behind our stuff, we become very aware that this is the starting place to vibrancy. This is the starting place to vibrancy. So let's recap all of this. And I've got 7 things for you to get you to this place of removing the mud and allowing that gold to shine. Hi, Leisha. Goodness, it's been a while. Kathy, nice to have you here. So here it is. Number 1 is the acceptance of ourself, not the acceptance. Don't accept yourself out and just opt out of living your fullest and vibrant life by not wanting to take something on. It's hard work to become the queen of your own life. It's hard work to become vibrant, isn't it? It is, because it means you're not settling for second best. It means that you're not going to just do whatever. It means you're going to accept yourself, and you're going to move forward with that gift, because you are the gift. You are the gift, by the way. Number 2, we have to stop if onlying. If onlying is just puts our focus completely 100% on what we don't have. It's lack, it's scarcity, it's sad. Instead, we can step into what we do have. And I know, to me, the biggest thing that gets you out of if only is the gratitude practice, a solid gratitude practice. And I have a little bit of a challenge. See if you want to take this on. Sitting with 2 minutes of just full-on gratitude in a meditation. Listen to some binaural beats. You can find them on YouTube, easy enough. 2 minutes, and just sit there in gratitude and watch how it transforms how you feel about everything. Number 3 is twisted ankles happen because of missteps, but twisted thinking happens because of hiding and not living authentically. And when we're not living authentically and true, we're not using a voice in our lives. We're going through the motions. Everything's autopilot. And when we're on autopilot, that's fine for cleaning toilets, but it's not fine for living your life on purpose and for purpose. You got me? There are times and places for everything, but autopilot 100% of the time, 24 hours a day, doesn't work. Number 4, we can start asking better questions. You know, there's my dad used to say this, think before you speak all the time, because I had my mouth constantly going. Think before you speak. And this is a term, think before you ask a question too, because sometimes we need to formulate that question to get the answer that we're seeking, right? Not so that we can manipulate the answer, but to get the full answer. What is the question? Is the question a good one, or is the question just right off the cuff? So many times we end up shooting from the hip all the time. And that's fine for certain things. It's not fine for living a vibrant life. Number 5, we can start noticing and stop reacting. Being reactionary is exhausting, isn't it? Being a reactive person instead of allowing and processing and using your prefrontal cortex and living off your amygdala. The prisons are filled with people who did that knee-jerk reaction thing and then regretted it for a long, long time. Number 6 is we can be aware and not caught up. Awareness is this keen sense that we're not the only person on this orbit, of planet Earth. We're not it. We need to expand our thinking and expand our awareness and see there are other people here on this planet, other cultures, other people doing life differently. And yet, we're all here. We're all still on this, somebody said, a spinning rock in the middle of space. We are. Why can't we get along? It's kind of sad, isn't it? Number 7 is being mindful literally changes our brains. It literally changes our brains because neuroplasticity is king. And we can change that when we choose to. But motivation begins with mindfulness. It's fed by your biology, your emotion, your social pressure sometimes as well, and our knowing. I don't think we give our knowing a lot of credence, but we could. Doesn't it sound like a good idea? So these are the things that produce motivation, and true motivation leads to true action. We don't sit on the couch with it. We go and do something with it. Just like Walt Disney said, enough talk already. Get busy. Let's get busy. And that's why motivation is such a force, especially when it comes from within. It pushes you toward a higher purpose when you're firing on all cylinders, your biology, your emotion, your social situation. This is your true north. This is you discovering that authentic self. So the motivation is self-generated, and it wildly differs, by the way, from willpower. Willpower is so temporary, and willpower, it's a grit your teeth kind of a thing, where motivation is more of a stir the pot kind of a thing. And motivation's positive, it's inspiring, it's exciting, while willpower is negative and demotivating and boring. Isn't it? Isn't it? I think it is. And motivation leads to self-discipline, consistency, and inner wisdom, while willpower leads to short-term focus, demands perfection, and is disproving. Have you noticed that? Oh, you didn't do it right. You're just not right. So I like to say we don't strive for perfection, we strive for excellence, because excellence never disappoints, does it? When we do something excellently, boy, don't we feel good about ourselves. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to do anything perfect this side of glory. You're just not. And you know why? Because this ain't the place that perfect happens. It's the spinning rock, very short-term place. But just remember this, that motivation always needs a support system. Absolutely. It needs an intentional environment that's set, that's going to support you in everything that you're doing. It needs to have a refrigerator and a pantry if that involves food. It needs to have an exercise plan if that involves moving your body. It needs a hydration station. It needs a commitment. Who's going to be with me tomorrow signing the contract? Huh? Who is? It needs all of that. And we also need to be journaling. We need to be meditating. We need to be intentionally living our lives, intentionally. Living in consistent mindfulness is motivating, isn't it? I think it's fantastic. And it helps us in our alignment assignment in life and helps us to experience vibrancy, because our vibrancy is our true north. It is our true north, and we know it. We feel it. We absolutely feel it. And you know what? That's the only way we're ever truly going to feel good about our lives. just by doing this, just by doing these things. So I have a challenge for you. Let's sit in gratitude 2 minutes, listening to some binaural beats if you have a chance. That really helps to do a little work with the neuroplasticity. And secondarily, you're right, Tanya, I don't believe it. Yes, our support system needs a community, absolutely. But the other thing that I want you to do is consider, especially if you've been a part of our Hot Milk 30 in the past, be there tomorrow night at 7 p.m. You will get an invitation in your email to join us for the commitment contract signing ceremony. We're doing this to just really make it a mark, to be a cornerstone in our lives and in everybody else's life. This is how our community has been built. Got it? Go get registered for the Hot Milk 30. That's at savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY. I'm excited about this week. It's going to be a really great week. Are you ready for it? Just wait till you see tomorrow's show. That's all I have to say. Tomorrow's show. Flynn's here. It's on, girls. It's on. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow is Transformational Tip Tuesday. Don't forget to show up. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.